sent the boy off to play in the woods by himself. Because it's that time. Time for you to have a beer with Brad. So let's see what we got here. This is actually a local brew. And when I say local, I mean the brewery is 15 minutes from where I currently sit. Maybe 16. It's called TailGate Brewery. If you go on to the Bushcraft Ridge website, www.bushcraftridge.com, and go to the link at the top that says nearby attractions or something like that, nearby activities, that's one of the things that's listed. And I've done a video from inside there. It's where I got my birthday present. It's where we did like a food review there. But this is something that I've had on tap there, and it's their peanut butter milk stout. Don't let the peanut butter part throw you off, because at least on tap, this stuff is delicious. It's complete opposite end of the spectrum from what I had last time. Last time I was out here, we had the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Double IPA. The Voodoo Double Ranger. I can't even remember what we had last time. It's whatever the Voodoo, I think it's Voodoo Ranger Double IPA. So that was a light colored, very hoppy beer. And this is a dark chocolate malt beer. This is 5.8%. And yeah, let's crack this guy open and see what we think. It smells like beer out of a can. I don't like smelling beer from a can. I like it better on tap or from a glass. I need a Bushcraft beer kuksa. Is it called kuksa? Kuksa? Whatever that wooden cup is, I need one of those. So if any of you guys know how to carve one of those, carve one and send it to me. I'll send you a Bushcraft Ridge patch and give you a shout out. Wow, that is good. It does taste kind of, it has hints of chocolate, roasted coffee, very dark roasted malts, and just a hint of peanut butter. I don't know what it's got in there that gives it that hint of peanut butter, but it's very light. It's just like an aftertaste of, because the word peanut butter is on there, it makes you think, yeah, I can taste a little bit of peanut butter in there. We've been out here about, what time is it? We've been out here about 4.5 hours, and this is nice. This is the perfect time for this. Kick back. Take a minute to myself. The boy's off playing somewhere, hopefully not in any danger. I grew up in the woods, but my boys didn't. My boys have grown up on video games and in the computer. I like to bring them out here on the weekend and try to connect them with the land, you know, give them some of the same experiences I had growing up. They have so much more than I had, and at the same time they have less, because they're missing out on a lot of experiences that I had that shaped me and made me who I am. And that's not saying that they're going to be any less or anything like that. But I hope, just by exposing them to the outdoors, exposing them to some harder things, some things you have to work for, some things that don't come easy, that they'll gain that appreciation that I have for the outdoors. And when we were coming out here, you know, my kids are so much smarter. They're so much smarter than I was. We were coming out here, I was like, Seth, this is my middle son, my 10-year-old. Well, he turns 10 the day after Christmas. I said, Seth, we're going to the land, to Bushcraft Ridge, that Mom and Dad bought. We own that land. And it's 10 acres. For you guys that don't know, a football field is about 1.35 something, 25 acres or something. 10 acres is about 7.5 football fields. So, and it's all woods. It's all woods. So I bought, and a ridge. It's a big hill up, flat part across the top, big hill down the other side. So I own about 7.5 football fields of woods, and I told him that, and he was like, "Yeah, but Dad, do you own the trees and the animals? What do you mean when you say you own the land?" And I was like, "Oh wow, I wasn't ready for this deep conversation with my 9 soon-to-be 10-year-old." And I was like, "Well, I mean, earlier this year, I paid the previous owner of it, and it got put in our name, and now we own it." And he said, "Yeah, but who really owns the trees? I mean, they're going to be here long after we're dead." He was like, "The animals are going to come and go, but they can go to other lands, they can go to other places." And he was like, "So what do you mean when you say you own? We're going to land that we own?" And I was like, "Buddy, just go back to playing your video game. Let Daddy think about that a little more, because he has a good point. This land, these trees, I say I own them. I can chop down every tree in this woods. I can burn this place to the ground and kill every animal on this 10 acres. And in 100 years, this place will be regrown. This place has been here hundreds of thousands of years. I don't know if millions, because of what continents do and how land folds over on itself and all of that, but I feel safe in saying hundreds of thousands of years, right? This land has been here hundreds and thousands of years before me, and it's going to be here hundreds of thousands of years after me. So when I say I own this land, or this is my land, I'm really just a transient here. I will enjoy this land as I want to enjoy it for the time that I'm on this earth and that I have it. So yeah, he got me kind of philosophical before we came out here. And then as soon as he got out here, he started whining. But watch the other videos where I'm interacting with him. He smarts off a couple of times, makes me lose my patience a few times. But that's what boys do. That's what your children are for. They're really to ground you. I'm not a perfect parent. I try to be. I try to be the dad that I wanted, or the dad that I believe they deserve. I try to make sure they earn things, make sure they work for things, make sure they have what they need to survive in life, but I don't make it easy. And I do expect them to listen when they're told to do something. I expect them to respect their elders, and if they don't, they get punished. He's actually coming back right now, I believe. Hey,
you talking about me?
I was, but I want you to go play some more so I can finish shooting this. I'll yell for you when I want you to come back over here. Okay. I want you to just keep walking down the path as far as you can go without getting scared. Just stay on the path. You won't come to the edge of... If you come to a dirt road, you've gone too far. And the other thing is, they're not used to being away from us. Like, when I was a child, we had the run of the neighborhood, the woods, neighborhoods over. We would get on our bikes, go. I'm not saying it was safer. People can say it was safer back then. I remember it as pretty terrifying. Like, looking back on it now, like, we could have been murdered, killed, kidnapped at any time. And that happened to kids back then also. That it wasn't just all over the internet and sensationalized like it is today. I forgot where we were going. But getting him to go off on his own, he doesn't have any alone time. He doesn't have time where he's going off and doing something by himself. Like right now, he's further away from any human being right now than he ever has been in his life. and he's only about 30 feet away from me. There's a spider web across the trail that he's scared of. I cut him a walking stick, and he's doing battle with the spider web right now. But he's about 30 feet. No, he's more than 30 now. He's running off. He's 50 feet away, and that's further than he's ever been from a human being. He's never been further away from anyone than that. And so to get him out here, to give him some basic skills, this is the first time. I've had him in the woods before, but this is the first time I've brought him out and really like set up camp with him and showed him stuff. Hopefully he's just watching me and learning along the way, but this is the first time that we've really come out and set up camp and said we're doing a day camp. We're not doing an overnighter tonight, just because it's still too hot to be out here, frankly. We're hydrating like crazy, trying to stay in the shade. That's why we set up the tarp. And anyways, he didn't want to come out here to begin with, and now he's pretty excited and happy that he's out here. I'm saying a lot just because I don't really. This isn't scripted. I hear a helicopter. Sounds like a Chinook. There's a flight path from Fort Campbell to somewhere along here. They follow the power line easements because it's really easy to see through the woods. Because this area is just kind of dense woods for as far as you can see. See them through the trees. There are a lot of Chinooks and Blackhawks that fly through this route. Actually, that's a pretty good transition. I don't think I could have asked for a better transition. So in the last episode of Have a Beer with Brad, I asked for questions, and somebody asked, actually not somebody, one of my good YouTube buddies from Canada, Kirk Hermery, or Hermary, brother, if I'm butchering your name, I apologize. Kirk, he's got 2 channels, and he's got some good stuff on there, so go check him out. He does some, I've been watching him do some knife making lately. He always has something interesting on there. He loves K-bar knives, by the way. And he asked, like, how I felt about military movies, and he actually mentioned Black Hawk Down, and I don't have enough time to answer this question, even with this whole 6-pack in here. I will say that it's interesting that you mentioned Black Hawk Down, because my father-in-law was actually in that battle. He flew one of the little birds over Mogadishu, providing support during that. So if you watch the movie, you'll see the 4 like special operations helicopters with the miniguns. They're like got a bubble on the front. They're really small. People are riding on the sides of them. They like drop people off, pick people up, but they fly in and they're just like mowing people off the roofs. So he was one of those in the real battle. He was one of those little birds, providing support. And the main characters in that story are his friends, like, and their families are friends. So I know that the book was made first. So Black Hawk Down was a book first, and all of the people involved got advanced copies of the book to read and give feedback on. And then it was turned into a movie, blah blah blah. But is it true to the essence of what happened? Is it actually what happened? Or is it completely made up and fake? Those are like, it's hard to put it on a specific place in the spectrum. it's sensationalized and Hollywoodized and made into a good story. Does it stay true to the spirit of what happened? I believe so. I believe I talked with my father-in-law about it back then, but I don't recall our conversation. I just remember that, like, everybody involved and in the unit got advanced copies of the book to read and give feedback on. I know his family wouldn't watch the movie. But as far as real versus not real, they're different. You know, it's a spectrum. It's not just one or the other. And so I think if the movie stays true to the spirit of what happened and doesn't just outright falsify events and facts, I'm down with it. If it completely paints people in different lights and falsifies facts, like many, that's the problem with saying something is based on actual events, because I can just use the names of people that were there and completely rewrite the story and say it was based on actual events because I use the people's names. So I don't know, man. I would say do some research. Watch the movie. If you love the movie, do some research and find more about what actually happened. You know? Watch the movie. I love it. Read the book. Read some nonfiction about it. Find out what happened. And then draw your own conclusions. I love war movies as much as the next guy, but I know that you have to take things with a grain of salt. Not everything is what it seems. The other part of that is, I told you guys I have 4 master's degrees. One of those master's degrees is in creative writing. So I understand what it takes to tell a narrative. Real life doesn't always paint a good narrative. It's not always a good story. Even when the events, one after the other, are exciting, you still have to wrap it in a human story to tie it all together and make it, you know, have that impact. So there's that aspect of, I just saw some medium-sized 4-legged animal over there, like a fox or something. So taking artistic license with something while staying true to the spirit of what happened, I'm okay with. And then at the same time, I understand that memory is different, you know? The way I remember something, I'm seeing it through the lens of my experiences, and it's been warped and shaped by everything that happened to me since that experience. So when you have 5 people tell a story that happened 5 years ago, everybody's going to tell a slightly different story. And some people are going to say another person is outright lying when that person firmly believes in what they had, in what they said. So if you enjoy it, enjoy it. Learn more about it, see how close to the truth it is, and draw your own conclusions. Something else I was going to say about it, but I don't remember. But yeah, I'm fine with them. It doesn't bother me. Nothing I've ever been involved in has been made into a movie yet. But if you want to learn more about what I was a part of and what I did, I know I'm always very cryptic about that. Read the book Team of Teams, or listen to it on Audible. Team of Teams by General McChrystal, I believe. Oh my goodness. You guys, I'm so sorry if I got the author wrong. Anyways, so what the author talks about standing up in that book, I was a part of from 2007 to 2009. And it was interesting because somebody told me to read that book, and I didn't realize that it was about what I was a part of in Iraq until Iraq. If you think I said Iraq, I'm saying Iraq. Iraq. I didn't know the history. Like when I deployed and the group I deployed with and what I did in Iraq, I didn't know the history of it. And the book Team of Teams, that's the history of it. So yeah, that's a good read. I highly recommend it. If it ever gets, I mean, it's a series of events over many years. That couldn't get made into a movie. Things that happened during it could, but yeah. Oh, I know what else. One other thing. Somebody asked about my sidearm. So this is a Smith & Wesson SW40VE. All right, I don't think they make this specific model anymore. It's changed because this is the pistol that Smith & Wesson got sued by Glock for. It's essentially a Glock. It's a 40 caliber Glock. I'm not even actually sure. I think it holds the 40. I don't have anything special in there, just regular rounds from whatever I get from Walmart. But for this firearm, they got sued by Glock, so they had to change the design later. This is the original model. You heard that click? It will fire without the magazine in. Okay, it holds, what did I say? 14 plus 1. So I actually do carry the plus 1. So you saw me eject the round when I first pulled it out. I put the magazine in. I chamber a round. I always keep my finger outside of the trigger guard until I'm ready to shoot, and then I make sure the magazine is completely full. And this spring is pretty tight. So, and there's my 14. My plus 1 is in there. Like I said, it will fire even without the magazine in. And then this, like the Glock, it doesn't have a mechanical safety. It does have a trigger safety. So the trigger, this little piece off of the trigger has to be engaged like this. Like there's a little thing back here that you can't see, but this has to be engaged for the firing pin to even move. So if you drop this, there's no chance this firearm will go off unless your finger is inside the trigger guard, which it should never be until you are ready for the weapon to fire, and pulling the trigger. So this disengages the trigger safety, and then bam. So that's my firearm. Somebody asked me about that. Why I carry when I've heard some people like bashing carrying while on trips in the woods. Like, I don't know who's out here in the woods, man. This is my this is my land. I carry in town also. I open carry, conceal carry. I don't carry when I'm at my corporate job at work, but yeah, I'm one of the good guys with guns, and I don't want to get into gun rights, or because I firmly believe that you have the right to be however you are. If you are against guns and will never carry a gun, I firmly believe you have the right to feel that way. All right? But if you ever need somebody who does have a gun, I'm going to be there to protect you. All right? What else? This beer's almost gone. Tell you what. Kirk, I don't know if you made it to the end of this video. If you didn't, that's okay. Kirk Hermery, you're getting a free Bushcraft Ridge patch because I believe you have watched and commented on every single video that I've posted. And I have like 60 up. So shoot me an email. I don't know what my email address is. Use the contact page at Bushcraft Ridge. It might be like info@bushcraftridge.com or something like that. I don't know. Get me your mailing address up in Canada, and I'll send you a patch. And for whatever you guys want me to talk about next time on A Beer with Brad, leave your questions in the comments below. And I'm actually going to turn this can into one of those lanterns and hang it on a string. So there's that.